Hey, how's it going? It's Thursday, June 13. Sorry if you missed me, but for the past week I've been in a real life and death situation. I won't go into too much detail. Let's just say a medical procedure went terribly wrong and I reacted badly to the drugs. Yes, truly, the drugs don't work. Thank you, The Verve. I spent the entirety of E3 in an NHS hospital bed, bored as a mother trucker. Thank goodness I had Nintendo Switch to pass the flaming time. Life and death, eh? I had to tell him in no uncertain terms, "Oi, Reaper, not today, I've got a channel to run." Besides, Reaper wanted payment for transporting me over to the other side, but he didn't have change for a 20. Talk about unprepared. No, but in all seriousness, life is precious. It's something that can be indiscriminately snatched from you in a heartbeat, so don't waste yours, will you? Still, it's good to be back. A super warm welcome to new and existing subscribers. Thank you for sticking around, and anyone who wished me well. I'm Fox, and still your reliable source of aggregated video game news, speculation and rampant rumour. In today's video, the best and worst of E3 2019. EA, Microsoft, Square Enix, Ubisoft, Bethesda and Nintendo. Which of these companies took home the trophy for the best E3 2019 showcase? Well, judging by social media, it was a mixed reception. Some thought it was great, some not so great, and some going as far as to suggest E3 as an event is all but dead, obsolete. Let's find out, shall we? Well, first up, Microsoft had a pretty decent E3, all things considered. The company boasted 60 games, 14 Xbox exclusives, 34 heading to Game Pass day one, as well as a sequel to the Elite controller, news on their next-gen Xbox project Scarlett, and a famous movie star dropped in to promote a highly anticipated third-party game. Most of you probably know who it is already, but let's pretend for those who don't, okay? So, we won't go through the entire 60 games for this video. It would be way too long, though I have picked a few that stood out, particularly games that I found the most intriguing. So, Gears 5. Really, what did we see on Gears 5? Well, not a whole lot. So JD, Kate, Marcus and Delmont return for the main story, which seemingly focuses on Kate, who appears to have some kind of internal conflict going on. Split personalities, distrust, paranoia and alien scum elimination is the order of the day, though I have to say, as much as I'm looking forward to Gears 5, they didn't show us a whole lot, did they? I mean, isn't this game out in just a few months or so? Perhaps it'll be a feature in an upcoming episode of Inside Xbox, more than likely. Now, the trailer looked good, but nothing like what it will look like on Xbox One X, never mind the aging OG Xbox One, CGI or Xbox Scarlett maybe, who knows. So moving on to Halo Infinite, another disappointing trailer. No gameplay, just a really impressive real-time cutscene, which was obviously running on next-gen hardware or a comparable to Scarlett spec PC. It's great to see the Chief again, but I wanted to see gameplay. After all, the in-game cutscenes in Halo 5 looked glorious even on Xbox One S, but then the gameplay kicked in and you realize it didn't look anywhere near as good as those real-time cinematics. It appears Halo Infinite is taking the series back to its roots, which is a good thing, and quite frankly I cannot wait to see how it all looks and plays. One for EXO London coming this November, maybe. So, Cyberpunk 2077, oh yes. Sexy sci-fi thriller RPG Cyberpunk 2077 was the darling of the entire Microsoft conference. Keanu Reeves has signed on to play an AI character that lives in your head. Think Cortana, but for adults. To be quite candid with you, Keanu Reeves has really sold this game to a lot of people who may have not been interested, or maybe Cyberpunk 2077 was under their radar. He gives really the project another dynamic layer, and people say he's actually a really nice guy in real life, despite his Hollywood ties. CD Projekt Red must be totally hyped to have Reeves associated with their new game. So Keanu Reeves' appearance to promote CD Projekt Red's incredible Cyberpunk 2077 was a boss move. When Keanu's character appeared at the end of the trailer, I got feels of a Hideo Kojima production going on. I'm pretty sure Kojima-san himself will be impressed by Cyberpunk 2077. Okay, so 3 standout titles among a sea of other awesome games, but it wasn't all good for Microsoft. No Fable, a Lego Forza Horizon 4 tie-in that nobody asked for. Ori 2 still seems like it's been in development for far too long and won't be with us until 2020. And DLC and expansions for existing Xbox titles were shown, and in my humble opinion, way too many multi-platform titles were showcased as if they were Xbox exclusive games you can, as the name implies, play elsewhere. The pacing was a little off, but good, and it's always nice to see people up on stage and a very hyped crowd cheering on the Xbox faithful there. Though I'm not sure if I'm in the minority who thought this, but didn't Microsoft's E3 conference feel like it went on for a bit too long? I honestly forgot a lot of the content I had seen by the end of it, though there were at least two standout moments besides those games. Another notable moment was the Xbox Project Scarlett VT, identical to Project Scorpio. No bad thing there, they got the point across with that old VT, so why not repeat it? So we got to learn more about what this console is all about. Featuring an AMD Navi GPU capable of hardware accelerated ray tracing, AMD Zen 2 CPU capable of up to 120 frames per second, an SSD with 40 times performance to help eliminate load times, now where have we heard that before, and GDDR6 RAM, etc, etc. Now it sounds a lot like PlayStation 5, doesn't it? But what say you? Sound off in the comments. Okay, so that was the Microsoft conference in a nutshell. I'm going to gloss over the other events and then detail Nintendo's E3, since the other companies are pretty much full-on multi-platform publishers. Sorry, I'm not even going to cover EA's pitiful showing. So let's start with Square Enix. Square Enix did what Square Enix does, a show heavily leaning towards JRPGs, and they were great, but in the interest of time I'll focus on the two universally appealing titles the publisher treated us to. Final Fantasy Remake, running in real time on PS4 Pro, brought up to date and looking absolutely gobsmackingly gorgeous, yet somehow it felt reassuringly familiar and faithful to the original 1997 release on Sony's PlayStation 1 hardware. The fans went utterly bonkers when Tifa appeared on screen with Cloud and Barrett in tow. It looks as though we're going on a fantastical journey back to this wondrous world. Now the lighting effects were sublime, the gameplay looked action-packed and intuitive, the soundtrack, oh my goodness, the soundtrack to die for. Seriously, Final Fantasy VII has quite possibly the greatest soundtrack committed to a JRPG, period. And there were pre-order bonuses and special limited editions, with some of them including a Cloud figure and motorcycle, one for the collectors there. What can I say about Final Fantasy VII Remake that hasn't already been said? It's the Final Fantasy game we've all been waiting for, and it's coming across two, yes, count them, two Blu-ray discs. So a very sizable game then. Now the game's director said that the game had to be episodic, since part one of the game is like a complete game in its own right. So a two-part game. Somehow I don't think an awful lot of people will take issue with that, but what say you? Okay, so the other big Square Enix title was the highly anticipated The Avengers game. Now, I don't know about you, but the real-time gameplay looked CGI at times. Thor, Black Widow, the Hulk, Captain America and Iron Man looked incredibly visually impressive. Now the developer of the really most recent Tomb Raider games, Crystal Dynamics, and some of the Eidos lot are really at the helm of development here. They're a competent bunch, let me tell you. And granted, we still don't know an awful lot about the Avengers game, but as a story trailer it certainly looked the part. I'm not entirely sure, but the trailer seemed to suggest Captain America dies at some point. But the cat doesn't die, so there's probably something else going on there. So what did you think of the Avengers trailer? Let us know in the comments. Okay, moving on. Just Dance. Just Dance. No thank you. I think I'm fine sitting down. I think it's safe to say Ubisoft had a pretty lame showing. Save for the promising Gods and Monsters game created by the Assassin's Creed Odyssey developer, a mixture of Zelda and Rhyme if you were to ask me, and it's coming to Switch so I can play it portably. That's a win in my book. The only other game that piqued my interest with Ubisoft, and to be honest I'm not entirely sure how I feel about Watch Dogs Legion. It seems a bit silly to me, like it's trying to be Grand Theft Auto and Saints Row combined, set in a futuristic London, and as a result of a failed Brexit, the city has gone to the dogs. It's total chaos on Her Majesty's streets, and the Legion are the cause, so you can pretty much literally play as any NPC in the game, which sounds a bit ironic cause Well, NPC means non-playable character, but this is video games, it doesn't have to make sense. Not sure how this mechanic will play out though, but being able to play as any character kinda takes away some of the connection players would form or invest in getting to know key characters in other games. I don't know, maybe they figured out how to keep the player invested, and I'm not totally sure why the series has moved away from the grittiness of Watch Dogs 1, then gradually becoming more juvenile with each entry. I'll admit though, without playing the game, I won't know how good it actually is, so I'm willing to wait on previews and the inevitable reviews for this one. But yeah, Watch Dogs Legion is coming to a PS4, Xbox One, PC and Stadia platforms in 2020. Well, I hear what you're thinking. What of Bethesda? Well, Bethesda did okay. Not great, just okay. Standout titles: Doom Eternal coming November 2019, a Fallout 76 apology segment, a supernatural game called Ghostwire Tokyo from Tango Works, the makers of the Evil Within series. It looked appealing and has some pedigree behind it, so we'll have to see more on that one. And Deathloop, a new game from Arcane Studios, developers of Dishonored and Prey, a game that seemingly has you stuck in a time loop where the only way to progress your game is to fail. Intriguing, but we don't know enough about it to really go into detail. Another one to watch, I think. And then we had a port of mobile game Elder Scrolls Blades coming to Switch. Yay! Rage 2 is getting an expansion, Wolfenstein Youngblood got another trailer and release date. Thing is, we know about these games already, don't we? There was nothing on Elder Scrolls 6, nothing on Starfield. These are next gen titles, by the way, and they said they wouldn't show them, but yeah, I was still holding out. So yeah, a pretty by the numbers event for Bethesda then. And now on to the finale of the video. Nintendo's E3 2019 showcase, and wow, did Nintendo bring out some big guns, and they showed actual gameplay. Radical, I know, right? Okay, so let's reel off some of the big games we already know about. The likes of Pokemon Sword and Shield received a new trailer and later heavily featured at Nintendo's Treehouse feature. I can see the appeal, but honestly I'm not really a Pokemon kind of guy. Then there was Luigi's Mansion 3 looking really good. I love the art style and minute details in this game. I haven't really played a Luigi's Mansion game since the original on GameCube, so I certainly am pumped for this one. What about Astral Chain? Wow, developed by Platinum Games, got a lot of well-deserved attention at E3, and again, over 2 days of Nintendo's Treehouse. It looks utterly incredible on Nintendo Switch hardware, truly shows off this little system's capabilities, and must be stretching the hardware to its absolute limits. Astral Chain is a game that features dual characters, a brother and sister who are special police officers sent on a mission to clear up and defeat an evil purged by some unknown force. In usual Platinum style, the game plays out like a Hollywood blockbuster in terms of the action, and has a slight air of Bayonetta, near Automata, and dare I say it, Xenoblade Chronicles, particularly the way you have some kind of humanoid tethered to you, as in Astral Chain. The game doesn't look like it's going to be a pushover either. I watched the Treehouse gameplay and Astral Chain looks like it's going to require a reasonably competent gamer to play it on normal mode, though I am told there is an easy option for the less gifted among us. Oh, and there's a motorcycle tunnel scene in the game that looks utterly amazing. So what of Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 for those Marvel fans? The Black Order, another game I paid close attention to during those Treehouse events. Apparently Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 is exclusive to Nintendo Switch and takes inspiration from Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, with the largest character roster in Marvel history. You unlock and recruit characters as you level up, and you can play online and in co-op mode on the couch, and there are tons of super hard boss battles in this estimated 50+ hour game. Bring it on. What about Animal Crossing: The New Horizons? Well, sad news. Looking good, but delayed until March 2020. But Super Mario Maker 2 is out this month, and I was utterly surprised, even though the rumors suggested. I didn't believe them, utterly didn't believe them. So The Witcher 3 Complete Edition is coming to Nintendo Switch, and apparently on a 32GB cartridge, the first of its kind in the West. Oh boy, I cannot wait for Digital Foundry to dissect Witcher 3 for Nintendo Switch. It seems like the impossible port, doesn't it? But Doom and Wolfenstein proved otherwise. If it holds up, I'll double dip on The Witcher 3 Complete Edition just to play it in portable mode. Interesting times. So there were tons of other games shown, too many to go into here, and these are just the highlights. And you know, Nintendo really surprised me this year. They reeled off game after game with very little talking. I'll miss Reggie, but Doug Bowser seems cool. And now for the game that stole the entire E3 event for me. A game that I had pumped almost 250 man hours into. is understandably getting a sequel, but I didn't expect to hear, let alone see anything on it this soon. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 is now in active development, and its debut trailer melted the internet. What immediately blew me away was the dark, twisted tone. It's like Zelda and Link followed the White Rabbit and fell smack down into Alice and Wonderland's hole. Where does that rabbit hole go? That didn't sound right, did it? Alice and Wonderland's hole. Never mind. Well, I don't know where this rabbit hole goes, but certainly not back to Hyrule if speculation based off of the tiny details shown off in the trailer are anything to go by. Breathtaking is the word, and it looks like Ganon is back to his old tricks again. The graphics look improved, not sure if it's because Wii U development is no longer a factor, but it certainly looked more detailed under what we believe is the underground of Hyrule Castle. And with that, Nintendo won E3, with Square Enix coming a close second. Microsoft's decent showing, in my opinion, comes third place because their best game of the event just happens to be a multi-plat title. Yes, Cyberpunk 2077 is heading to all major platforms, and because Microsoft failed to make the most of Sony's absence, there was very little detail on Halo Infinite, as nice as it looked, little details on Gears 5, and a ton of third-party offerings in between. There's really only 3 places in my best of E3 2019, but for the completionists out there, Bethesda came 4th, Ubisoft came 5th, and EA, Electronic Arts, don't make me laugh. But I've got to say, I'm a little disappointed that Microsoft has not announced any Nintendo tie-ins or ports for Xbox. Cuphead, Super Lucky's Tale, Banjo & Kazooie tie-in for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Master Chief Collection on PC, all seem like a one-way street. Yes, more money for Microsoft, but what do Xbox gamers get out of it? Well, I certainly hope you enjoyed my impressions of E3 2019, formulated from an NHS hospital bed no less. Yes, I took notes, even though I was sick and in pain, in preparation for my return home to make this here video. Again, thank you for the well wishes. I'm recovering, but what say you? Go ahead, sound off, share your thoughts and opinions on today's news, because that unfortunately brings us to the end of another video. But let's continue the discussion in the comments. And for all your current and next gen news updates, rumor and rampant speculation, hit the like button, spread the word, and keep it locked to FOXY Games UK. Remember, all relevant links where applicable can be found in this video's description. And subscribe to FOXY Games UK. Remember to hit the notification bell so you never miss content. Thumbs up if you like it here, and help us reach more like-minded gamers simply by sharing this video. Consider supporting FOXY Games UK via Patreon, and or grab yourself a FOXY Games UK branded t-shirt or hoodie, available in various colours and designs. You'll find both links in this video's description. I truly appreciate the support. And that concludes our time together today. It was great hanging out. I'm glad I was able to do this video. It's nice to be back. But until the next video, remember, play games, not corporations.